What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Neighborhood Podcast. One of the hosts of the podcast, my name is Kyle Dabra. So, in this video, we're going to recap the Monday night matchup that we saw last night that featured the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. So, the result from last night's game was the Packers beat the Lions by the score of 35 to 17. With the win, the Packers moved to 1-1 on the season, and with the loss, the Lions moved to 0-2 on the season. So, the consensus going into last night's game was that the Packers needed to respond in a major way after the way that they had lost to the Saints in week one. That was the game where the Saints beat the Packers by 5 touchdowns. Jameis Winston threw 5 passing touchdowns against Green Bay's defense, and Aaron Rodgers had one of, if not the worst game of his career in that week one matchup against the Saints. He had no touchdowns, he had 2 interceptions, and the Packers offense as a whole looked inept and completely unprepared against the Saints in week one. So the spotlight on the Packers was huge going into this week two matchup against the Lions. And to kind of dive into the game here, the first half was phenomenal. The Lions and the Packers were going back and forth in the first half. I thought Jared Goff and Aaron Rodgers were going toe to toe with each other. Both quarterbacks were very efficient. They were throwing nice passing touchdowns to their respective targets, and they were making huge plays for their respective teams. And to give Detroit some credit here, Detroit went into halftime up 17 to 14. And then the third quarter happened, and that's really where this game kind of turned upside down for the Lions here. The Packers started off very hot in the third quarter. Aaron Rodgers was able to move the offense down the field. He was able to connect with Robert Tonyan on a 20 to 25 yard passing touchdown that gave Green Bay its first lead of the night at 21 to 17. On the ensuing Lions possession, the Lions moved the ball into Green Bay's territory. They're faced with a fourth down opportunity, but they failed to convert on fourth down. They turned the ball over to the Packers. The Packers offense, once again, they moved right down the field. Aaron Rodgers was able to connect with Aaron Jones out of the backfield for another touchdown. That put the Packers up 28 to 17. And then at the end of the third quarter, with about 4 or 5 seconds left, on the first down snap for the Lions' next possession, Jared Goff fumbles the ball. The Packers pounce on it, and then they're able to turn that turnover into more points. Aaron Jones runs a dive up the middle from the 1 yard line that puts them up 35 to 17, and that ended up being the final result of this game. To focus on the Packers here, this was a huge win for them. They needed this win, and all aspects of the team I thought played pretty well here. Aaron Rodgers was phenomenal. He only had 5 incompletions the entire game. So he was extremely efficient, not only in the first half, like I mentioned, but throughout the entire game. He was 22 of 27, threw for 250 yards. Excuse me, he threw for 255 yards, and he threw 4 touchdowns as well. It's a complete reversal from what he had in week one against the Saints. So this was a huge game for him. I thought Aaron Jones was phenomenal as well. He had 4 total touchdowns, 3 of them through the air. One was a rushing touchdown in the fourth quarter. Devontae Adams was solid once again. He had 8 catches for over 120 yards. And I thought Robert Tonyan and Randall Cobb came up with some huge plays for the receiving corps for the Packers here. So, and not only that, I thought the Packers defense made some solid adjustments from the first half, because in the first half, Detroit definitely had their number. And Detroit was up 3 points at halftime. But the Packers defense shut out the Lions in the second half. They were able to force some turnovers from the Lions, and they made all the right plays happen in the second half to just essentially shut them out. And trust me, that type of performance will get an offense going, and we definitely saw the Packers take advantage of those turnovers that the defense was able to provide. So, all in all, the Packers needed this win. It silences all the rumblings from the week one disaster that they had against the Saints, and it gives the team some momentum here. The Packers have a really good Sunday night matchup against the 49ers this weekend. It's going to be a Sunday night game. It's going to be the featured game of the week. And if you're a Packers fan, you got to think that they can continue this momentum going up against the 49ers. And then after that, they got a pretty good matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So these next 2 games are going to be pretty critical for the Packers. It's still early in the season. We're not even through September yet, but these next two games are going to be pretty tough for the Packers, but I think if they can carry this momentum from this win against the Lions, I think they'll be able to do just fine in those two games. And as for the Lions, look, I don't have a lot of hope for the Lions this year simply just because I just don't believe that Jared Goff is the guy to really kind of get this team over the hump. This team defensively is really weak. And look, they lost Jeff Okudah to a ruptured Achilles last week, and their secondary took some more hits as far as their injuries go. And it just really leaves this team in a bind, and it really kind of puts a lot of pressure on Jared Goff to perform at a really high level. And I thought he did for the first half of this game. He just wasn't able to continue it in the second half. If the Lions are going to have any hope to kind of turn this season around, granted, I'm only saying that because it's still early on, but I don't really expect this team to move far this year. But they got to really hope that Jared Goff can come through for them and perform at a really high level if they're going to have any sort of shot to be competitive in the NFC North this year. But it's the Lions. It's tough. You lost Matt Stafford in a trade to the Rams. Matt Stafford is playing at a high level for LA. And Detroit's just kind of left in limbo here where they've kind of been the last, I don't know, 20, 25 years ever since Barry Sanders left. And I don't really see it turning around in any sort of positive way for the Lions anytime soon. I hate to be the pessimist here, but it's just kind of how I see it. It's got to be tough if you're a Lions fan. I do kind of feel for them. So that'll pretty much wrap it up from here. If you guys liked the video, hit that like button below. And if you guys want to support the channel in any way, shape, or form, hit that subscribe button below. Any sort of support that we can get for the channel, Kevin and I definitely appreciate it. Once again, just thank you guys for tuning in to watch the video, and we will see you guys later.